What's up, everybody? It is DJ the Sports Blurred. I am back. Did you miss me? We're going to talk today about Jeremiah Smith and his insane offer that he got for his NIL evaluation. Listen, you guys know what time it is. Usually I have a football. Today I have my kids, stuffed animal monkey. I don't know why I like to have stuff in my hands while I'm recording these videos, but I do. So let's get to it. Jeremiah Smith. Now, I heard this off of the Pat McAfee show today, and I went back and I researched it. It seems to be very accurate, y'all. Jeremiah Smith, one of Ohio State's top football players, is already one of the most talented wide receivers in the country, and he's only a true freshman, right? What if I told you the financial realities of the NIL could tempt him and then other Buckeyes, including Carnell Tate, Lorenzo Styles, Sonny Styles, some of our best players, right, that just won the national championship? What if they could tempt them to leave the team that they just won that national championship with? They were already talking about Jeremiah Smith could receive upwards of $5 million for a 19-year-old coming out of Miami, Florida. Y'all, that is a lot of money. And not just a 19-year-old. Think about what would happen if you were working at a job or you were at a company or you were on a team and somebody said, hey, you, the viewer watching this video today, I believe in you so much that I'm willing to pay you over $2, $3, $4 million. I'm pretty sure that it gets your attention, and I'm pretty sure that would get you to listen. Now, think of this stat right here. In the past year alone, just 2024, NIL has generated over $1 billion for college athletes. Yes, that's one with a B. Think about a company like Gymshark. Think about a company like Patreon. Think about a company like StockX. The NIL is putting them almost in competition with how much money they're generating versus how much college athletes are generating right now. Honestly, if you guys think about it, $1 billion is a lot of money, and that number is growing. Now, stay with me because we're going to dive into how NIL deals could pretty much change the way Ohio State has to recruit going forward and think about their future going forward. What about a team like Michigan? You saw that they paid Underwood. I forget his name. I think his name's Bryce Underwood, that freshman quarterback out of Michigan. They paid him, reportedly, they paid him over $10 to $12 million to come and save their program. A guy like Jeremiah Smith could be right there. Bryce Young, his last year at Alabama generated over $3 million, and he's been in the league now going on his third year. So the money again is growing, and schools are getting a little bit more competitive, and the boosters are saying, hey, we've been doing this forever. We've been doing $20, $100 handshakes forever, but now that we can legally do this, let's go ahead and get it done. Here's the deal. I believe that the NIL has fundamentally changed athletes in college athletics as a whole. I told you guys about Bryce Young just a second ago getting $3+ million while he was in his last year at Alabama. These schools have partnerships with Nike, Adidas, and then other local businesses to generate their players millions of dollars. Now, this is really just specific to college football and college basketball. I know that there's a college baseball players that are getting paid, but they're getting paid through the MLB and whatever team that drafts them. Livy Dune, she is a gymnast at LSU. She's getting like a $4 million. She has a $4 million NIL valuation. You got to think back about all those other gymnasts that were in the Olympic. They're getting crazy NIL valuations. So what do you think a football player, especially a football player like Jeremiah Smith, who had a great freshman season and he has 2 years left before he can even go to the NFL, what do you think he would get on the open market to a team like LSU, to a team like Georgia, Alabama, Texas? That guy could potentially get up to $10 million. And it's not just Jeremiah Smith. Carnell Tate. Now, there's a report saying that he's gotten offers of up to $1 million, maybe even over that, to enter his name into the transfer portal. Now, if you're not a Buckeye fan, you probably don't even know who Carnell Tate is. He is a freshman or sophomore, I can't remember right now, wide receiver at Ohio State, who played very well. But when you're sitting behind Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Egbuka, your names don't really get highlighted like those other two. He's even getting up to $1 million. So you got to think, well, Ohio State is looking at all these other teams, Bama, USC, Texas A&M. All of them have means to bring the right players into their system. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, let's look at the facts, okay? Programs have had boosters, and they've had a huge alumni basis going back all the way before I was even born. I'm 36 years old. Guys, the boosters have been paying these kids well back into the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, right? Texas, just this year, 24, 25, 25, 26 season, the boosters have reportedly raised over $15 million just for college football. $15 million for the upcoming recruits, anybody that can get in the transfer portal to sign with the Longhorns. College football has gone so much from the pageantry and the rivalries. It's been a business all along. I get it. But now that we can actually pay the players and they're essentially free agents, college football has exploded. Now, you heard that $15 million number from Texas. Alabama has reportedly raised over $20 million. Oregon last year, for all the flack that Ohio State got last year for having a $20 million roster, Oregon had a $23 million roster. And again, this year, they're right up there. Now, while OSU has a strong NIL presence, those numbers cannot be ignored. I mean, top players, Carnell Tate, Air Nolan, Carson Beck, all these guys, Ryan Williams from Alabama, Jeremiah Smith, they're all looking at these numbers and they're all looking at these deals that are on the table. And OSU in 2025, 2026, and beyond, they're going to have to pay to play. They're going to have to keep up, just like every other school would. Now, let's get to the impact on what this would have on, let's get to the impact that this would have on Ohio State. The Buckeyes have everything, and I mean everything that a top recruit or a top player could enjoy, even guys who are walk-ons, right? They have the best facilities. They have the best coaching staff. They have NIL money, and they have national exposure. If you play for Ohio State, you play for Georgia, Alabama, etc., you're going to be on TV every night, right? You're going to be on TV every Saturday, and you're going to get that NFL pipeline that you're going to be desperately wanting. But what if I told you that OSU can't rely on just that alone anymore? OSU used to be able to rely on prestige. They used to be able to rely on tradition. They used to be able to rely on just the coaching. They can't do that anymore because the NIL deals, those deals are reaching 8 figures nowadays. And it's about time Ohio State, and they've been doing it before, but it's about time Ohio State lands the players that they already have. Again, like free agency. It's like being a restricted free agent in the NBA or the NFL. You can go out, you can get an offer. Your team that you're currently with has to match that offer, or you have the opportunity to go elsewhere. That's what college football is nowadays. One thing Ohio State had, I can't talk today. One thing Ohio State has going for it, it has a massive fan base. And they have partnerships with Nationwide and Nike, among other businesses. OSU is going to try their best to develop their players on and off the field. That should be your sales pitch right now. If you're a coach at Ohio State, whether you're Ryan Day, Brian Hartline, James Laurinaitis, anybody, that is your sales pitch. We're going to make sure we develop you on the field and off the field. Now, going back to that original thing that I said, I saw this video on the Pat McAfee show. AJ Hawk is on that show. and he's an Ohio State great. He's an Ohio State linebacker, if you're not familiar with him. And he doesn't believe that Jeremiah Smith or any of these other guys are going to go places, at least some of the starters, because for two reasons. Ohio State more than likely can match any offer that any other school puts out. And then also, why would you leave the national championship team that you just won a championship with to go someplace else? It doesn't make a ton of sense. But when the money's on the table and you're 18, 19, 20, 21 years old and you have a chance to change the trajectory of your family, you have to at least consider these things, because I think that they're legitimate offers. But that's just me. I would really like to hear from you guys, in the comment section down below. Do you guys think NIL is going to ruin college football? Do you think it's bettering college football? If anything, I think the rich are going from the rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer because of these NIL offers. But that's just me and my crazy thoughts. I'm curious to know what you have to think. And if you're a fan of college football, especially anything that's NIL related, please continue to watch these videos. Please, consider subscribing to this channel if you want all the updates that I'm going to hit you with. Again, I told you guys last video, the 20 of you that watched it, I'm going to keep going. And just because the season's over, I want to make sure that we have that ability to talk about college football because I'm in love with the sport. Thanks for watching, y'all. Y'all take care.